Now I don't know about you, but I'm impressed with the new brewing system. I'm still playing with it and working out the nuances, such as the fact that while the potion continues to brew in real time, it will also continue to count down in real time. Meaning, if it gets to the next ingredient while you aren't in the brewing screen, it will continue to move forward, waiting for you to add that next ingredient. So you will have the possibility of failing to put in the next ingredient if you don't pay attention to the time. I definitely think the new system was something worth the time we waited and all the effort the developers put into it. I'm sure as we continue to use it and comment on it, it will continue to be tweaked until they have it where they want it. Now there have been a few things mentioned and hinted at this week in the forums, such as the plans to fight the spam attack, the changes to the Indiegogo finance policies, as well as more speculation on upcoming changes that the developers are currently working on. Maguss gatherings are starting to happen, and we'll take a look at some of the new changes and how they might affect gameplay as the new systems roll out. So let's get to it. So just a quick little announcement that some of you may have missed this week. Indiegogo has made changes to their finance system, and as such, PayPal is no longer usable. Now this won't affect those of you who have already purchased a perk, but for those of you who have been sitting on the fence or are just now getting to the game, it means you will not be able to use PayPal to purchase any of the perks. There is the possibility of it coming back to use in the future for the community, but only after the community store is put together, which at this time is not a priority. So the dev team is sorry for the inconvenience, but it was a decision made by Indiegogo and is out of their hands. Check out the link in the description if you want to know more about it. Now you may feel like the team has been a little quiet this weekend. Don't fret, they aren't starting to ignore the community. Actually, they just made a little trip down to Italy. They're doing a little team building snowboarding trip, and believe me, they deserve it. Aside from the small break they took for the winter holidays, they've been going non-stop since the end of summer, working on getting this game financed, reworked, re-imaged, rebuilt. If you looked at the Kickstarter they did back in 2015, this is a completely different game. They've been pushing quite hard since the beginning of the year to get this brewing system rebuild finished. So a quick weekend trip to relax, regroup, build up their morale, and re-establish their momentum is going into the next system rebuild, and it's a doozy. Last episode I mentioned the attack of the Korean spammers, and as you've seen, they've continued their assault. The team has tried putting CAPTCHA requirements in for account creation, but either they are manually creating them or are able to bypass it using the Google and Facebook account creation option. Because of this, other options are being pursued. I'm sure by now you've seen the CAPTCHA requirements when posting on the forums, and while it is a slight annoyance, it's not as much of one as all the spam. It has slowed down the spam enough for the team to keep a better handle on it. Just be aware this is not how it's going to stay, and continued tweaks and changes will come over the next few months as the team works to find a balance between the annoyances. You may not see the changes as most of it will be on the back end, but believe me, the team is looking into it, as we all want a good experience, both in the game and in the forums. Now, from talking with the lore team, I have it on good authority that they're pretty close with finishing up the lore that they wanted to get together. They're just putting the final touches on some of the game lore, making sure all the details match up and everything works within the story and within the game itself. The artists have been at work trying to put together some artwork to go with the backstory, as well as I've been told that there's a possibility of a surprise once the story comes out and we get access to this lore. Now, I haven't really been told what that surprise is, but if they're able to pull it off, it's supposed to be something pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Now, the developers wanted to thank everybody for all the effort they've been putting in, reporting on the bugs, and finding the issues that are within the games. They wanted to thank everybody for those that have been submitted, both before and after the recent update. With most of the bugs mentioned they are aware of, it's good to have it confirmed. So please keep them coming. Don't stop reporting bugs just in case it gets missed, forgotten, or just gets the wrong priority assigned to it. Currently, one of the biggest bugs that they are seeking information on is the combat glyph recognition bug. This is still being reported. Basically, this is the bug where no matter what spell glyph you put in, it isn't being recognized as correct. Usually this happens after several rounds. They've seen it with Trents and with trolls, but they've also seen it with other creatures and as early as round 1 or 2 starting. A lot of times it's not till later on in the rounds, usually after about round 8 or so, but they have seen it early on. I'll put a link in the description below that'll lead to the discussion that's currently going on. What they're mainly looking for right now is any videos that you can get showing this bug and showing what's happening when it's going on. Try and get as much information as you can on this bug when you're reporting it, such as what mob you're fighting, where the mob was, how close you were to the mob, things of that nature. If you were on Wi-Fi, if you were on cell service. The big thing is they are having trouble narrowing it down because they are not seeing it on their PC replications. So it's only being seen out in the field, and that makes it much more difficult to locate what the issue is. After working on it and seeing what looks like will work, I'm looking at having the Magic News Burst post weekly on Sunday nights, recapping the events and information from the previous week, with gameplay training videos posting most likely on Fridays. As my focus will be mainly on the news bursts, unless I feel that there is an area in need of a training video or an update that has been released with enough new content to justify an overview video. Time will only tell how that plays out, but hopefully it'll work out for all of us. I did want to break in real quick and just drop this in here. I know this video didn't drop on Sunday, but between several weather storms that came through, issues with some of the recordings that I had done previously, as well as some sickness on my part, I was not able to get it completed completely in time. But then, after speaking with the Maguss devs, I also started putting together a new channel to separate these videos from my own personal channel. And so between that delay and all the other delays with the weather and my sickness, this is kind of dropped into the middle of the week, but I will continue from here on out to put together videos to drop on Sunday. This video is going to count for a couple of weeks, but expect next Sunday for there to be a new video. Hopefully with some information that'll interest you guys. I know we're kind of in an intermission between core updates, and so there's really not a lot to talk about. Now the developers have mentioned that they're working on some more core updates, with their main focus currently being on the battle system, or more specifically the spellcasting system. They've announced that there's going to be about 80 new spells that are going to come with this. They're going to be broken up into different branches such as defensive, offensive, utility, and things of that nature. From these branches, you will choose 2 of them when you go into combat. Now, one of the unique things that they're planning on doing with this new system is they're setting it up so that you can assign 1 to 3 spells to a specific glyph. So you can actually create combinations of spells. Now this looks to be interesting. The developers have said they plan for this to come out in about 4 weeks, but this is just a rough estimate, so expect that to change. They have said, however, that it is a really cool system and they expect you to have tons of hours of fun playing with this new system. So this new system is definitely something I'm looking forward with trying to break, just like with the brewing system. And we'll see how it goes. With this new update, they also plan on implementing the ability to do spell enhancements. Basically, what will happen is you'll get as loot or drops different pieces of parchment, which you can then combine together, and with certain seals, get a random spell of a certain level. They're also going to implement Enchantment, which using enchant stones you can take spells you already know and enchant them into scrolls. After they have completed this, they're going to be looking at doing the magic chests that they have hinted at earlier this year, as well as more map interaction and exploration. But we'll have to see what that all entails once it comes out. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the combat system and the spell casting. After what they've done with the brewing system and the updates they did to that core system, I bet it'll be worth the wait. Last week, Lilith then posted about doing a get-together meeting for all the Maguss players in the Czechoslovakian area. Now with that, they had a few quizzes, some raffles, and just mainly getting together and enjoying time together, meeting other members of the community. Now this is the first event, hopefully not the last one, in a long line of get-togethers and gatherings and eventually events for the Maguss community. I do have a few pictures of what they were able to do while they were there. A little bit of brewing, a little bit of hanging out, and just getting to know other people in the community. Now, Lilithan has mentioned that there will be more events that they put together. This is just the first of many. So good job, Lilithan. Hopefully we'll see some more on what happened during this event. So that's the end of the episode for this week. Hopefully you got some valuable and useful information for your alpha testing. I know that some of you are still disappointed about the wand delay. The devs are too. But you think about it, with that delay, it gives the devs more time to focus on the core game, getting all the core elements put together and make it into a better game, so that when the wand does come available in 8 months, the game will be that much better. And at that point, the wand just becomes an accessory to help make the game that much better. Anyways, till next time, keep your shield up and your wand at the ready.